With Wes Anderson's The Phoenician Scheme hitting theaters this weekend, let's do a retrospective on who I like to call one of the most aesthetically identifiable filmmakers in the industry today. His first three films were a trifecta in my opinion. Bottle Rocket is a simple, indie-minded, and relatively grounded debut, one that kind of starts out as a buddy comedy and becomes a heist comedy. Also what I consider to be one of the best films he's ever made. Rushmore is relatable in that I feel we've all known a Max Fisher at some point in our lives. Another humorous, quotable movie that is elevated by the petty rivalry between the characters played by Jason Schwartzman and Bill Murray. The Royal Tenenbaums was such an elevation. This is where I feel the identifiable aesthetic would really fully take shape. A film about dysfunctional families brought together by an excellent ensemble cast, a great soundtrack, and a ton of emotions. It checks all the boxes of a great Wes Anderson film. And then he would start to do some globetrotting adventures. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is a fun homage to Jacques Cousteau. Thrilling, entertaining, and I feel the closest Wes Anderson has ever gotten to doing an action-adventure film. Also, if you've never seen his American Express commercial that he did in 2006, it's great. Check it out. Hotel Chevalier was a simple short film that preceded the Darjeeling Limited, just pretty much set up the story for one of its characters, and I feel at this point on his resume that Darjeeling Limited actually got a bit more simple and grounded for him, but I also feel it's one of his most rewatchable and lesser talked about movies. I specifically love how its three main characters are there for you to observe and critique and eventually realize their arc. And then there's Animation, a coming-of-age story in what I feel is one of his grittier and more ambitious films. Fantastic Mr. Fox is a great Roald Dahl adaptation, one that is quirky, mischievous, has great voice acting, and definitely go look at videos of how he experimented with the sound design to bring out a sense of realism. Moonrise Kingdom may not be among my favorites of his movies, but Wes Anderson has never made a bad movie. It's still a charming period piece and coming-of-age film. By working with new actors, it shows how anyone he casts can adapt to his aesthetic. The Grand Budapest Hotel is gritty, ambitious, and definitely a peak for this filmmaker. I would also describe it as Wes Anderson's espionage thriller. I feel like Isle of Dogs is him delivering an answer to the fact that dogs don't always have the most pleasant fate in his movies. It's such a wonderful look at the bond between man and dog, and say its title over and over really quickly, it's a fun play on words. I've heard descriptions of Wes Anderson's latest work being him in his Tim Burton phase. The aesthetic is there, but for some the movies may not be as memorable. Yes, The French Dispatch is a little uneven because some stories are better than others, but the more I've gone back to it, the more I've found to appreciate. Asteroid City sees him get pretty experimental and philosophical while channeling Steven Spielberg, and for that reason, I really like it. And most recently, he did 4 short films for Netflix. I really wish they would have been done as an anthology film as opposed to 4 separate shorts, but they're still distinct and unique in their own way and never let go of that identifiable Wes Anderson aesthetic.